It's purple! Project Hail Mary. I saw this one recently. I was looking forward to it. There was a lot of buzz around this movie. There were industry people who were saying, this is a masterpiece. It's the best thing ever. A lot of people seem to agree. It's in the top 250 right now at number 85. I like Ryan Gosling. I like Phil Lord. I like Christopher Miller. They're responsible for 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street. They're responsible for a lot of cool things. The Lego Movie, Clone High. Sure, yeah. They've been in the industry for a while and they have a lot of good ideas, good sense of humor. This film is also based on an Andy Weir novel. That is the author who wrote The Martian, which I was not a big fan of. That was Ridley Scott and Matt Damon. With myself not really loving Ridley Scott because he's just very lazy at what he does in the last 30, 40 years. And myself not loving Matt Damon that much. And also the fact that the movie felt like a series of vignettes rather than like a continuous story, you know? It felt like every single problem in the movie was just problem, solution, contained one after the other. And it was kind of irritating. But I figured I would like this one better. And I was right. I did like this one better. I don't think it's a masterpiece. I don't think it's, best movie of the year even. Depending on whether or not Nirvana the Band the Show is a 2025 or 2026 movie for you, that movie's incredible. Pillion I watched this year. That movie's incredible. Bone Temple is a 2026 release. I enjoyed that one more. We're pretty early into the year. Yeah, Time and Water was better. There's certain films where I can literally just go and I'm rambling and ranting about them immediately. This is one where it's like my feelings on it aren't that strong. I love the visual effects. I love their approach to the visual effects especially. I love how the spaceship animation is almost kind of teetering into the... It feels pretty Uncanny Valley, but it's kind of supposed to. There's something that feels really unnatural about the way that the ships move, and that's a good thing. It's a creative choice that feels kind of bold. It feels unique, because a lot of other films in space would try to have something that feels a bit more familiar or something that feels like other space movies, whereas this is like, there's something that feels like a bit too precise about how the ships move, but I like it. It's distinct. How mad when it wins Best Picture? I don't know if that's happening. Will it? I don't think so. This is like a modernized mix between Sunshine by Danny Boyle, Interstellar by Christopher Nolan, The Martian. There's still elements of The Martian in here. A little bit of Pandorum. A little tiny bit near the beginning. Point being that it's a very familiar feeling movie. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's going through the motions and the beats to make something that is commercially successful. And it worked. It worked. People are seeing it. People are loving it. I enjoyed it, but just not as much as everybody else. And to me, that's one of its larger problems is that it feels like being commercially successful is the point. So I guess this isn't really a spoiler because this is just all over the marketing in the trailer. He meets an alien buddy. And the sound design with the alien buddy, the number one goal of the sound for the creature is just, how do we make this as cute as possible? How do we make it like a baby, little buddy, dog, pet, whatever? That was the priority. And there are moments within every sequence in this film, probably every sequence, where the intended emotions worked on me just the same way that they would anybody else. But for large chunks of each section, it did feel kind of insincere, kind of sappy, a little overly like, oh yeah, good vibes, everybody. And that's not to say that good vibes movies are bad. I really enjoyed the first, 15 minutes or so of Robot Dreams. Like, that was nothing but good vibes there. That was infectious. But there's something about this where it feels a little too safe, a little too predictable. It's like they took those other space movies and decided to make something that is family friendly first and foremost. Ryan Gosling was pretty great in this movie. I think that even with the high-pitched screaming moments, it brought something to the tone where it was like, okay, this isn't taking itself way too seriously, and that was pretty nice. It easily could have been someone else like Chris Pratt in this role for scenes like that, but I'm glad it wasn't because he still genuinely tried in all of the emotional, dramatic scenes, and it shows. And it paid off. He is much more capable than Chris Pratt, who prefers to be called CP. Look it up. Don't look up CP, but look up the fact that he prefers to be called it. I'm not lying.
CP down here, Levi Stadium. We are the home team.
Yeah, performances were good. Writing, the science fiction-y elements were fun. The plot was a little, reminiscent of Sunshine in terms of what the goal was. Sandra Hüller, butchered that name. Sandra Huller, if that's how you pronounce your name. Love her. She brought a really interesting element to this film. Her character was memorable, great screen presence. You might know her from Anatomy of a Fall or The Zone of Interest. That was a really good year for her. Ken Leung was distracting for me because I've seen him in enough things to know that his accent is not what Scott, rest in peace, would be doing right now. What Scott is doing currently right now in heaven.
No, see, you in B-Town.
And so I don't know if he was pulling it off very well. It could be because I'm so used to him not having that really thick accent. But I also think there's an element of him just not nailing it. It was pretty clear, like, okay, yeah, you don't actually talk like that. It felt like kind of inconsistent. I don't know. I also would have enjoyed it more if it was not as long. Unfortunately, I feel like this is probably another example of the fact that it's made by Amazon, and even though it has a theatrical release, this is going to wind up on its fucking streaming service. And streaming service entertainment, they want it to be longer, because if it takes longer for you to finish everything, then you're going to be subscribed longer, right? If you're watching the content, the longer that you take to watch it, the longer you're going to feel obligated to be subscribed. And so we're seeing that a lot with Apple movies, just overly long for no reason. It's like there's no deleted scenes. It's like there's no editing room. This one could have been trimmed by like 20 or 30 minutes. Quite honestly, it's 2.5 hours long. It didn't need to be. I do enjoy that it felt like an actual story that was progressing compared to The Martian, but I just wasn't completely into it the entire time. I wish I was. There were parts where I was rolling my eyes. There was one part where I rolled my fucking head back. Let's see if I wrote those parts down, actually. Oh, stuff near the end that's like spoilery about what our main character decides to do. Is like, oh, you're gonna do, okay, sure. And things that you kind of know based on what the movie is, like what is a potential scenario versus what is not a potential scenario, and what it pretends is a potential scenario without really being. Yeah. Sorry, I wrote down one of the lines where I rolled my eyes. This out of context is not a spoiler. Goodbye. Don't understand word. It did really feel particularly manipulative how they were trying to tug at people's heartstrings, and I wish it felt more earned throughout. For some people, it's not going to be an issue at all. In fact, it seems for most people. But I did wish it felt more organic in that sense. It felt very crafted in a way that reminded me that it's a movie and reminded me that they're trying to make money, right? This is not going to make sense to everybody. This is not something that everybody's going to relate to, obviously. But to the people that do understand what the hell I'm saying, this is going to feel like a breath of fresh air. So I feel like I have to say it. The authenticity that this film lacks is what I'm bringing by not being afraid to say it was good, but not a masterpiece. There we go. The authenticity is pretty much what I'm looking for and judging in everything. Every movie I see, the music I listen to, the things that connect with me the most are the things that feel the most authentic. And this film really, really lacked that feeling of like, oh yeah, I'm an artist trying to express something. No, we're a company making money. It makes me wonder if Phil Lord and Christopher Miller had less creative control than they usually do, because their voices were still definitely in there, and they did a really great job in terms of bringing this project to life and having it be a commercial success. They did a fantastic job at their jobs. I just wish that it wasn't necessarily their job to just be, oh yeah, we're gonna make this as safe as possible for normies. If you don't like that word, go to my Oscar noms 2026 video. The biggest slog was definitely in the middle. If the Rocky Grace back and forth wasn't so much of the movie, and it's the main part of the movie, it was feeling very, very repetitive in the middle chunk. And I was enjoying it more before Rocky showed up. Not that Rocky sucks, not that I didn't like Rocky, but with that being just what the movie was from that point on, with some minor exceptions, it felt so one note after a while. Not a lot of variation for the runtime. Oh yeah. This part's fine. This is not that far into the movie. Him deciding to take off his fucking helmet when he doesn't even know if there's oxygen. I'm sorry. Whether it's your own life or the entire fate of humanity, it was both. That's very unrelatable. Was there no other way to test? Was there no device that you have in your ship? Your last chance for humanity Hail Mary ship that would tell you whether or not there's oxygen in the environment? Like if you just had to be like, oh no, hold on, I'm just gonna grab the stick that tells me whether or not there's actually oxygen here. Would that not have been fine? Would that not have been okay? That was weird. Yeah, it would appear in my notes that there were parts where I did find the Rocky kind of actually pretty annoying and uninteresting. There were parts where I wish the sound design was more reserved and subtle, but they just went for cute instead. Oh yes, no, this is cute. This is cute. See? It's like Jar Jar? No, it's not. As I was watching through this movie, I was reminded of other very specific songs from very specific movies that it obviously drew inspiration from. There's a lot of similarities to the film Sunshine, and I wish that it was, you know, like, if you're going to create a story with those similarities, that's fine, but having that plus the music similarities was a little much for me. So there was a very specific part of the soundtrack in this film, right, that reminded me a little too much of a very specific part of the soundtrack in Sunshine, where it's not the exact same, but it's definitely like, okay, you use temp music here. And they both turn into different things. They both turn into different things, but it's such a recognizable cue for me in Sunshine, that hearing that in Project Hail Mary, where it's like, okay, it's not the same, but you were instructed to make something that sounded similar with temp music. That's what it really appears like to me. It's a pervasive problem throughout the industry. That wasn't the only moment, but that was the most obvious for what I could identify and remember immediately. Otherwise, there were moments in the soundtrack where I was like, okay, yeah, this also sounds weirdly familiar, but I didn't know exactly what the song was called, and it was just a thing in my head. Whereas Sunshine, I'm much more intimately familiar with that movie. Anyway, I would call this film a certified normie masterpiece, and there's nothing wrong with that. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It was worth watching. It was watchable. I can't believe how many fucking ratings it has. Like, that's an insane amount of people that watched it. There's stickers on ymsmerch.com website for certified normie masterpiece. I put one on my notes for this film because it was undebatable. It's a movie that average viewers are going to enjoy a lot more than people who are looking for more different things, less familiar things. That is not a blanket rule for everybody. That's just on average, and it would appear as though that is the case. You can see it reflected, user rating versus critical rating. You know, you can literally just see it right there, right? So it shouldn't be a controversial thing to say. It's not going to be this year's Sinners. They're insanely different movies. It's not a thing. If we were to call one movie from each year a normie masterpiece, then yeah, Sinners was last year and this is this year. But it doesn't matter. Other things that I haven't yet talked about. Oh yeah, 6 out of 10 for Project Hail Mary, if you didn't see my rating. I recorded a review for Iron Lung only like the first couple minutes before I got like fucking just absolutely overwhelmed with all the other shit, and now I'm moving in less than a week, and so I'm still overwhelmed, and that's why we're doing things like this. I was giving this a fair chance. The trailer didn't look great. I think the worst part about this is the fact that Markiplier is starring in the film. I played through the game, which was very short, but I understand why it became such a popular thing. It's because of the fucking atmosphere. It's because of the sound design. It's because of the tone. It's because of the interactivity. The fact that you're forced to do a really tedious task, and when you're concentrating on something that's really tedious and requires, you know, thinking power, it can distract you in a way where a jump scare or a startling moment can actually be effective on you, right? It's not just, oh, I'm watching a thing and then all of a sudden loud noise. It's like, okay, I'm concentrating, and something breaks your concentration, right? So the interactive element actually makes jump scares way more effective. I couldn't even remember if it was diegetic or non-diegetic. I mean, it was from things happening in the universe, but really cool atmosphere, really cool design choices. The movie did not capture that. The movie did not capture the atmosphere. The movie did not capture the sound design. When the music stops playing for a second in this movie, which is not much of it. It's playing throughout a lot of the movie from what I remember. And you actually hear the sound design of what's outside the vessel. It sounds like a royalty-free, water bubbling, like, sounds to fall asleep to, right? It was really lacking any feeling of actually being inside this vessel. It never felt like that at any point in time. It always felt like a set in terms of how things were framed and shot. It was inconsistent enough where every once in a while there would be a shot that's way too wide, and I would think, okay, well, this vessel is actually not that small. It's not that claustrophobic because I can see how much space you have. They could have used the exact same set and shot it differently, and it would have been a lot better. Markiplier, I'm sorry, your performance can't do it. It was really, really bad. He was grunting a lot in the movie, saying the word fuck to himself a lot. Like, you look at this, I'm sorry, it's in the screenshot. It's in the screen. This is a promotional image. This is like from the trailer. Like this face that you're making, like, I'm sorry, it's not believable. It's not convincing. I don't believe that you're a character here. And it's not because I have a history of like watching Markiplier doing funny things. I didn't really watch Markiplier. I was just aware of him like most people are. I was never really like watching his stuff at all. Like, I just know who he is as a YouTube personality. I know what his brand is, and I thought, okay, that's not for me. I watched a little bit and thought, okay, I don't really watch people play video games in the first place. It's a very rare occurrence for me to do that. He did this thing where at moments he would slur his words, and it took me a while to figure out what the intention was behind him doing that in his performance. It took me a while to realize that the intended effect of him doing that was to convey a sense of like fear and nervousness, where he's like choking on his words because he's scared or something. But in the context of the movie, every scene where this happens, and you can hear it in the trailer too, it sounds like he's drunk. In the trailer, you just hear him go, I just want to live. I just want to live. I just want to live. It sounds like he's drunk, and I'm not accusing him of being drunk on set, obviously. I'm just saying the intent of what he was doing with the performance is not translated to the final product at all. It actually genuinely took me thinking power to understand what the hell he was trying to do there, because it was not translating. Plot was incomprehensible. There was a post on the Iron Lung subreddit where someone who was a fan of the movie watched it 3 times in theaters and finally understood what the fuck was going on, and I read it, and it was kind of interesting. And I was a person that like played the game like a week before I watched the movie, so I shouldn't be that confused. But already I watched it a month or 2 ago, whenever it came out, and just so much of it has left my brain already. I don't remember if there was like a single moment that I thought worked for me or was effective. The music was overbearing. It was trying to make up for a lot of nothing. It was trying to insist a tone that the film itself was not earning in any way. It was insisting it was alleging it was supposedly doing that according to itself, but it was the score was just a fucking band-aid. It tried really hard and just it replaced the atmosphere, but it's not. I can't even say the film would have been better without the score, because at the moments where the score wasn't playing, the atmosphere wasn't very good at all anyway. It was using a band-aid to make up for the fact that it wasn't doing a very good job with the atmosphere. Oh yeah, now I remember. So the people that I went with, I didn't prime them in any way. I didn't say what I'm expecting this to be bad or anything. They were bored as fuck during this movie. It was one of those, like, maybe I should have warned them sort of things. There were people that were not a part of my group that walked out 2/3 through the movie or so. It was definitely past an hour, I think. It was very difficult to tell how far through the movie you were at any moment, because it was very, very insanely repetitive nothing experience. The way that I prepared for this movie, once I realized that it was going to be that the entire time, which was not very far into it, was I came to terms with the fact that it would likely feel as though it has no ending and that it would go on forever. So I was never thinking in my head, when's it going to end? I just accepted that I'm trapped there until the end of time, is basically how I got through the movie. Every time it felt like it was ending, I thought, oh no, it's not necessarily ending, no matter how convincing it seems that it's ending. I just thought, no, I'm trapped here forever, and this is fine. And that's how I got through it. Otherwise, I would have been very, 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 very upset. It felt like I was watching a YouTube Red movie, and not just because Markiplier's in it, but just because the look of the film is just, it doesn't feel professional in terms of framing, in terms of lighting and color grading. One thing I did appreciate about the framing, though, is that there was a variety. There was a variety of angles right? There was a variety in terms of like how close something was. They used different lenses throughout the film. It wasn't just the exact same type of shot the entire film, so I really, really, really appreciated that because it easily could have been based on everything else. Unfortunately, however, with how the cinematography and framing was varied, it never felt like it was motivated by anything. If there was a shot that was like, okay, now it's an angle from below, it never felt like it was appropriate for that moment in any way that couldn't have been appropriate for literally any other moment in the film. Maybe that's also just because of the repetitive nature of the movie. His performance in this movie was no different than his performance in things where he was trying to be comedic. Like if you branded this as a comedy and then had clips of him doing the exact same thing, then people would laugh, right? It's not a movie that made me upset. I'm not mad at its success. In fact, I think that its success is a good thing. I like that he, distributed this independently. I like that he has enough interest that people are just seeing this movie because it's Markiplier. Like, I think that's pretty cool. There is something special about the fact that it is in theaters, so even though it feels like something that should have been published to YouTube just based on how it looks and feels, the theatrical release was a good decision, even if it didn't feel like it belonged there. Really. Okay, well, he did have a get me out of here line. He said, come on, get me out of here. That was fun. There was a get me out of here line in Project Hail Mary, too. He literally said, get me out of here. When he was like behind the glass, he was like, oh, I'm like a villain in that thing. I'm like a Superman villain. Get me out of here. I was like, that's it. It's like the Wilhelm scream for me. It's in a lot of movies. It wasn't scary to me. It wasn't compelling to me. It was like, seeing in all caps. It's such a fucking slog in all caps here. Okay, yeah, here's my description of the movie. Just a guy talking to himself, and every once in a while he presses the scary picture slideshow button in the back. Like that was how the movie felt to me. Guy talking to himself, every once in a while he goes to the back, presses the scary slideshow picture button, and that's it. It lacked a sense of atmosphere that was the entire reason why the game worked. And, he tried. I hope he tries again. I hope he learns from this experience. Not that he shouldn't be proud of this film's success or anything. Just if he's serious about being a director and serious about creating art, there's a lot to improve for sure. Anyway, 2 out of 10 for this one. It was really, 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 really boring. Just not well made. Oh yeah, no, the real nail in the coffin for me was during the end credits where it said shot on red. It was like, okay, you're using an insane camera to make something that looks like it was shot on like a GH2, or like not even, like fucking Upstream Color was shot on a GH2 with mods. But the fact that they're using this like super duper pointed at something and don't have to think about anything beyond that type camera, or at least that's what it purports itself to be. It's not there. You could kind of see the writing on the wall with this poster and the opening credits when it's like directed by Markiplier at the beginning. It's like, okay, the Markiplier movie. The fact that he's crediting himself as Markiplier, I mean, like the brand name. People saw it. So like maybe marketing wise, that was just what you do, but yeah. Okay, Goat. Not very good. This, I'm going to try and be as brief as possible here. The story fucking sucked. Everybody drove a Mercedes. A lot of product placement, thanks Sony. Weird movie in terms of it being for kids, because, plot-wise, there's a lot of importance played on the idea of like social media and how you're basically just like defined by it. And it wasn't in any kind of like a critical way. It was just, this is how society works and this is the reality, kids. Like, I don't know, instilling that from a young age, basically instructing kids that like, oh yeah, what people think of you on the internet is the end-all be-all. And the amount of likes that you get is the end-all be-all. And that's what your focus and goal should be. Like, that was kind of fucking weird. If you're a furry and you're just watching this for like furry bait character designs, then it's fine. I'm wanting something a bit more out of a movie. I want a story that doesn't feel like it's just going through the motions, paint by numbers, predictable. The animation definitely had strengths and weaknesses. It seems like they spent the entire budget on this lizard man. Where's the lizard? Lizard got his own poster, right? Oh yeah, there were moments where the characters decided to go all fours. That was fun. What is up with these fucking low-res promotional images on IMDb? What the hell? How come there's no promotional image of just the fucking lizard guy? That's all I've been looking for here. That's all I've been looking for is just like a one shot of the lizard. What are you talking about? It's on other websites. Do I want to go to the other websites? By websites, I mean like actual movie websites. I didn't even make a joke there. I just realized after the fact that it could be interpreted that way. What the fuck? Where? Okay, well, he's in the background here. It seems like they spent the entire fucking animation budget on this guy. And he was like, look, I'm not into vor. He was doing some shit. Where it was like, okay, the animators know what they're doing. He even looks at the camera and says, I make you feel weird and you don't know why. Why?
I make you feel weird, and you're not sure why.
Lots of saliva, very vor-coated character, and it like the very distinct animation, very fluid, no pun intended, animation. There was a focus put on that character. I wonder if I can find a clip here, actually. Is Goat out on digital? Yeah, it would appear as though it is. Yeah, I might as well bring up one of the other promotional posters, actually, while we're waiting for that thing. Here's what I was looking for. Like this poster does say it all in terms of like, oops. This poster says it all in terms of what they were doing. Look, why those piercings are so weird. Those are like testicle piercings. What the fuck? Look, so they have all these character posters here. These characters were annoying and not special. There was a scene where they farted into a gas mask attached to someone's face, which was like, okay, why are you sneaking those fetishes into the kids movie? Like, don't do that, please. This character couldn't even tell you they were in the movie. Instantly forgettable. I don't remember this If you told me that this character is actually not in the movie, I would believe you, because I don't remember this character at all. This character is one of the friends of the main character. Didn't really add much to the film. Cute design, but like character-wise, nothing. Character-wise, nothing. Boring characters, boring and forgettable. Nothing. Literally nothing. This character was just, I'm addicted to social media. It was like, she was the one that liked social media the most. There was never any real, meaningful, like clear lesson learned about it or anything, because all the other characters were equally giving importance to social media in a way that I just don't think is healthy for a kid's movie. I don't remember this character. This guy was annoying, unspecial. Like, there's an entire ensemble of characters, but it almost never feels like they're adding anything to the experience of it being an ensemble at all. It never feels like the ensemble is justified. It's just a lot of characters that don't do anything. A lot of characters that don't add anything narratively. Like, what did you add? What did you add? Nothing. I don't remember you at all. Why do these characters even get a poster? His voice acting was bad too. The voice acting in general was pretty bad, actually. There wasn't any great voice acting, that's for sure. It was either mid or bad. The horse character design, I like the dreads, but the eyes are too small and beady. Not ideal. Big Kitty was like the best character in terms of like not being annoying to watch or listen to. The rest pretty annoying, but Big Kitty, it worked out. Also, yeah, it was doing the whole Spider-Verse thing in terms of we're doing stylized animation, but also things are simplified in a way that is saving money. And also it doesn't really feel like there's as much of a point to it and that we're as distinct as something like Spider-Verse or Puss in the Boots: The Last Wish would be. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Right? There's a lot of going on with this. Oh my God. They know what they're doing here. He's like actually horny.
Always do.
And then he's annoying. So he's not my thing. He's not my thing. Look at random freeze frames here. Like what the come on. I'm skipping to random points in the movie. Okay? This is crazy. Okay. Yeah, they literally made furry bait for people that like vor. Plot-wise, this was very sappy and irritating. The whole "my mom" thing was very funny, especially when they were trying to treat it very seriously and revealing stuff near the end. Okay, this is the part that was fucking weird. There's random crowd shots in this end scene where you can really obviously tell that a lot of these characters are like copied and pasted. Like even just, you don't have to think about it. This is apparent when you're watching the movie of like, oh, there's like 10 total characters here, 10 total characters, and the animations are being repeated as well. And the angle from where we're viewing this, it's like we're playing Sims or something. It's so fucking bizarre. It was such a jarring, like, what? Did that just happen? Moment in the movie where it's like, oh yeah, we saved the day and everything, and then just like, what? And I thought that was gonna be it. I thought it was just gonna be that one moment, and then it happens again. It's going through the motions of ending like other movies end that don't put much effort into what they're doing. Oh, there's another one. Those movements are so bad. It's genuinely shocking because the rest of the film doesn't look that bad, but it's like they ran out of money or something. It's insane. What are those movements? Like they just did. Look, I get it. Animation is expensive and time consuming. That's why you should properly budget and schedule your visual effects artists so they're not crunching to the last fucking minute, trying to rush, get things done. Give them enough pay and enough time to actually do things properly. Was this procedurally generated, this shot? Like, what the hell's going on? What are they doing? Like, what are they even doing? Whoever animated this, guarantee you they had like 2 seconds and we're just like, deadlines tonight. Well, I don't know what to do here. And no one can think about it. And it's like the same angle too. It's just so weird. What? Like, what? I'm sorry. I need to focus in on some of them here. There was a lion doing something very silly. I'll find them. There's so many that look the exact same. What are they doing? Oh my god. Sorry, I found 2 doing the exact same motion right next to each other. So like I'm basically playing Where's Waldo right now. So watch these guys. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's the same animation. Like, what's going on here? I should have downloaded this in 4K, because you could play this game for a while where you just, like, look at a different person in the crowd and just have fun observing how terrible things look. And you don't have to look for very long. Like, your brain, even without focusing on any of these characters, your brain knows there's a pattern happening here. Like, there's obvious patterns happening here where I'm seeing the same thing many, many times. This angle, you only see like characters that have been like main characters ever. This angle, you see characters that had their own poster for some reason. Okay. Oh yeah, and they promote gambling on this thing too. It's a fucking like get them while they're young. Like, oh yeah, they replaced it with like Uno cards. Sure. It's just one of those things where I'm watching, I'm like, should kids really be seeing gambling and their favorite characters doing that? Like, why? And that's not the only scene. There's like several scenes of them gambling in it. It's so weird. It's so weird. The rest of it looks fine. Sorry, I'm spoiling the ending here. This is how it ends. This is very funny. Wait for it.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. We've cut to black. Wait, we're not done yet. We decided this is the real... We can't end it there. We can't end it there. This is important.
Mom.
Thanks, Mom. And then back... And then we got credits. That was important. Thanks, Mom. Like, that's insane.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. Very cringe. It was kind of a disaster of an ending with all of that in a row. The crazy crowd shots, the thanks, Mom. Not a strong ending. So 4 out of 10 from me. Not a great movie. I talked about this on my podcast. I gotta make room for some other shit right now. Pillion, awesome movie. Highly, highly recommend. It's a kink movie. It's a queer relationship movie, but it's way more kink. This is not the safe and marketable and friendly gay relationship that you might see in other movies. This is, oh yeah, these people are very much into kink and their entire dynamic is going to be kink. We talked about this on Sardonicast. Watch this movie. I thought it was fucking awesome. 9 out of 10. Surprisingly emotional and effective. Surprisingly well acted, well presented. Very, very thoughtful and very complex. Alpha, New Julia Ducournau. Kind of disappointing. There are creative choices in it that were apparent, and it was kind of like, oh, this is interesting. I wonder if this means something. And then it does at the end, and it's like, okay, well, why though? And the decisions were not properly justified. There was one cool scene with some interesting prosthetic and makeup stuff. And you want to share fan art on Imager or Catbox? Do Catbox. Imager sucks. Oh, thank you. Aw, there's the purple hair. Thank you so much, Johnny Walker Whiskey. Visually nice looking, visually unique and interesting. Story-wise, it felt like it was leading to something more, and then the something more never really happened, and it just kind of feels overall very unsatisfying. It doesn't seem like anybody's feeling strongly about this one. 5 out of 10. Sorry. Loved your previous movie, Julia. Housemaid. I had a couple friends that wanted to see this. Paul Feig, not a great director. People liked this, and I was actually shocked. I thought for sure when I was leaving the theater, I thought for sure it was gonna be like, oh yeah, like this is just a movie that everybody hates. No, well received. 65 Metascore, 6.8 IMDb. Generally, people like this. The problem is Amanda Seyfried did an okay job. Sydney Sweeney, I'm sorry, you play a certain type of character very, very well. Is the word bimbo inappropriate? I don't know. But that's the word I associate with the characters that you play very, very well, right? You do a great job at that. This character, I didn't believe you for a second, right? Like, I didn't believe a single word that was coming out of your mouth. You just played it the exact same as every one of your other characters, except it didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense this time. God damn. This movie was very irritating. I didn't believe the character for a second. Everything was really forced. Everything was really manipulative. The story was predictable. They had twists that they pretended were twists, but were not. It was pretty obvious. It presented itself in a way where it was like supposed to be satisfying that you're watching this character get their comeuppance. Like, you get that character. It was not. It was just, okay, I guess I'm watching Paul Feig do something that is allegedly not a comedy, but is supposed to be kind of like, I guess, wacky near the end. Trying to channel his inner, like, Sam Raimi or something, but just not being competent. Yeah, it was frustrating. Misericordia. I don't want to spoil anything about this. This movie's fucking crazy. This is a movie that, like, its final form of what it is as a whole is not made apparent for the first half, maybe, depending on how you're interpreting what's happening. In terms of like tone, the first however much of it is like kind of really dark and depressing, but it's a very crazy and fun and satisfying movie where by the end of it it's like actually uproarious. I would watch this one again for sure. This is a film that just kind of like beckoned me with the Metascore versus IMDb user rating, the poster, just the general vibe around this movie. There was something that was calling me to it, and so I decided to just do a blind watch, and oh boy, it was quite the experience. I would highly recommend it. It is very unique.